Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with McAdory Yellow Jackets head football coach Aryvia Holmes, powered by CM Gridiron. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome back to the show, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being back, man. I'm glad you guys are here again. I'm glad to be back. So hopefully we can get it going back on the right track this week.
Absolutely. So last week, tough loss against Helena, 29-28, a real heartbreaker. Tell us some details about the game.
Yeah, so, last week, I had a lot going on in my family personally.
Right.
But I was able to come back and coach in the game. And, the guys, they seem to come out a little flat. I think, talking with my coaching staff, I think we saw the lack of maturity kind of with our guys in terms of playing
Right.
experience
Right.
and just, we're playing a lot of young guys. That game really showed, where we're a deficit in some areas. So,
Sure.
It was a great game to watch and to see and make corrections off of. I think the kids will be a lot better because of it.
Right.
I believe in scheduling those out-of-conference games that's going to help you get better for
Sure.
down the road. So it's tough to take the loss, but
Right.
An opportunity to learn some things as we go.
Well, good. You had some players, though, that stood out. Tell us about a few of those.
Yeah, so, going back and looking at the stats, man, Trent Charles had a tremendous game. We talked about him, kind of promoted him
Yes, you
in
did.
the first week, kind of Swiss Army knife.
Yes, sir.
He can do a little bit of everything. So he ended up catching a touchdown in the first half. Mike Matthews, a guy that we didn't even mention, but Mike he's probably my most improved player right now.
What does he play,
He
Coach?
plays receiver. He's
Okay.
played receiver. He's come up through Park and came up through middle school and just kind of waited his time. He's a senior this year,
Good.
and he's done a tremendous job for us. He can play at all four positions, so he was really solid. Friday night also, Carter Fagan, we talked about him, my sophomore receiver. He continues to be very, very good on the offensive side of the ball. Running the ball, Kawan Johnson did a good job.
Good.
Still had, good yardage, good gains. Did pretty good. Defensively, we got to get better at tackling.
Yes, sir.
And one of our issues right now is size.
Right.
We played against a team with Helena who's big on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
So it took all 11 of us kind of rallying to the ball and making tackles. So
Right.
some of the emphasis this week is, kind of trying to focus on, getting tackles a little bit better.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. Like we talked about before, injuries are a real thing. How did your players fare in the injury category?
We had a couple guys get banged up. My safety went out with an elbow situation.
Right.
I think he's going to be okay. We had a
Good.
receiver go down. It was in the first series, I think.
Okay.
One of our starting receivers. He plans to be back this week. A couple of bangs and bruises here and there, but all in all, we're in good shape when it comes to the injury report.
Ready to go for this week,
Ready to
right,
go,
Coach?
yes, sir.
All
Yes, sir.
right, good thing. Well, we'll be right back after this message from CM Gridiron.
PrepsNet Coach Speak is powered by CM Gridiron. CM Gridiron is your home of fan-focused Alabama high school football. From our weekly interactive Team of the Week and offensive and defensive fan-selected player of the week polls to the Alabama High School Stadium Tour, player profiles, Coach of the Week features, and live in-game scoreboards, CM Gridiron is the largest fan-driven digital platform in the state of Alabama. Your team, your voice, your vote, your game. CM Gridiron.
And we're back. Coach, you've got Northridge coming here this week. They are 2-0, so it sounds like it's going to be a pretty tough matchup. American Christian was their foe this last week, and they beat them in overtime, 17-14. Tell us about this team and how you prepare for them.
Yeah, Northridge is a problem.
Yeah.
They are. I really like their head coach. He's a wiry guy,
Okay.
fiery, very fiery.
Yeah.
And his kids, they take the mentality of their head coach.
Oh, good.
They play hard. They always got, big guys up front on both sides of the ball. I feel like I'm kind of echoing that every single year or every single week with the teams that we're playing. The good thing is playing Helena, there's a lot of similarities. So, we this week in preparation for Northridge, we've kind of taken some of the things that we didn't do as well against Helena and tried to get it corrected for this week, because we're going to see a lot of the same stuff. Both sides of the ball, their offensive line is really physical. They have two really good running backs. Their quarterback, who got hurt the game before we played him last year, he is a really good player. He's back this year. He can run, he can throw it, he commands the offense. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they got a nose tackle. He's probably over 300 pounds, but he can move. They got a safety that'll run downhill and hit you. So it's going to be a challenge. Fortunately, we play them at home. It's the first region game, and the way we attack region games is we always talk about this is for the region championship. Every single game we play in the region is for the region championship. So our kids will be ready to play. We got to make some of the plays that we didn't make against Helena. We got to make them this week to give ourselves a chance to win. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. We're up for the challenge. I respect Northridge and their head coach and what they're doing over there. He's doing a really good job.
Well, at least the Helena game gave your team a taste of what to expect this coming week. So they've seen it before. They played well against it, came up a little bit short, but now they know what to look for, right, Coach?
Yeah, in the Helena game, there's a couple plays, just like in any situation, you can go back and pull out, 5 to 10 plays that if those plays go in our favor, then we come out on the winning side. You get a holding call here, or you drop a punt and give them a short field, or instead of connecting on the deep ball, it's just a little overthrown, things like that. So there's a lot of things that happened in that game that I think our kids, they saw it on film. They know the corrections that need to be made. It's going to be a similar look. Now we just got to go out and execute.
Now you mentioned region play. This is actually your first region game, correct, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how important is this game in setting up the rest of the region
Really
games?
important. We start the season, our primary goal is getting a first round of playoff game at home. Because in 6A football, man, the competition is great. From top to bottom. So, if you finish in third or fourth and you have to travel to Mobile or Montgomery or Huntsville or any of those places, it's just hard to go there and win. So our goal has been, ever since I've been here, to get a home playoff game in the first round. And that's, when you play a region game, you either winning or you're losing. If you're losing, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not going to finish in the top 2. So, we got to take all these things serious, and we got to make sure we're ready to go when it's time to kick it off.
Plus, I'm sure there's the fact that, if you lose the first region game, you feel like you're playing catch up the rest of the season. Does that sound right?
You do. Yeah. And it's hard to convince a kid who's just taking a loss that we're fine. But, in the big scheme of things, then you're technically you're still okay. You just you didn't win the ones that you need to win. So you're juggling, making sure the morale stays up, making sure kids understand that we can still reach our goals. Because a lot of things can happen. You could beat a Northridge, and then Northridge could beat somebody else, and there's a lot of different factors that go into finishing in the top 2 or winning the region. That we got to just try to focus on one game at a time.
Gotcha. So you start out the season, you're 1-1, had a good win and then a tough loss, and I guess you've really got to thwart the thoughts of looking back. In other words, your kids don't want to be stuck in last Friday. You've got to get them back to the present and into the future, right, Coach?
Absolutely. I think with football season, time seems like forever. It seems like forever ago that we played Pleasant Grove. And right now, sitting here today, it seems like forever ago since we played Helena. So it's just rinse and repeat. You
Yes.
know, unfortunately, you really only have one day to even think about a win or a loss, which is Saturday. And then
Right.
Sunday, we're right back at it. We're practicing, we're lifting weights. I think the kids have handled it well this week.
Good.
There hadn't been much talk about, you know, what has happened in the past, wins or losses.
Right.
We're just focused on Northridge this week and trying to get it done.
Okay. Well, Coach, that's the show.
sir.
Appreciate your time today,
Thank
and
you
we
guys for being here.
appreciate you watching. Keep watching us week in and week out for McAdory's version of Coach Speak. See you then.